I'm Shawna Gilmore, and my primary medium is acrylic on wood panels, and I occasionally dabble with drawing on paper. I've always been interested in art. As a little kid, I was very artistic. I was always crafting and doodling and painting, and I took a bunch of art classes in high school, and that's really when I started to see I had sort of a natural gifting or talent in that area. But I really didn't develop my voice until years later when I sort of had to fight for it again. So once we had kids and they were little, I just shoved myself away down to the basement after they went to bed and started painting. And art has always been this thing where it's supposed to be so serious, and I started leaning into these parts of me that were humorous and not thinking too hard about it and just sort of exploring it. It's been a really huge learning experience, and it's been very humbling, and it's been very, I would say, inspiring, because the more I challenge myself, the more I see growth, and not just in an artistic way, but in a personal way. So it has a lot of benefits. There's always a thread, and one of the threads that has not changed is it's really about creating a world for people to jump into, and it's a world I'd like to go to or explore, because I feel like the weight of the world is heavy, right? And it is so delightful to escape for a moment into these different places, and places where there's maybe not these kinds of heavy things. I've never been somebody who paints about political things or heavy emotional things. I really use art as an escape from that stuff. I guess my work has changed in that I felt more freedom as time has gone on to not just make something that's pretty and beautiful and sellable, but something that I'm deeply interested in. But I love the sci-fi fantasy element because it's surreal, and I don't know, I think that's just interesting. I'm not as drawn to just a straight up landscape. I want to see something weird happening. If I get creatively blocked, it's usually because I haven't been paying attention to some of the basic things for myself. So if it's a period of stress in my life and I haven't been able to be in the studio kind of working through things or using those creative muscles, they can atrophy. They're just like any kind of muscle. So you have to keep it going even if you don't feel like it. So I've been instituting a sketchbook habit, which has been really good for that. So much of what my work is about is paying attention. And so when I'm not paying attention and I'm just surviving, I lose that ability to create. I'm just not interested in it. I'm just surviving. It gets really basic. So yeah, just doing those things that to exercise your muscle and to stay grounded and healthy that way. It's a lot of trial and error. I think you have to really work hard at what you're doing and not just expect to be accepted immediately. It is challenging. I mean, I have stacks of rejections, and places that I have submitted to that wouldn't even crickets, nothing. I would always get so excited when somebody would give me a thoughtful rejection. I'd be like, yay, thank you, that was very nice. You responded. So I think you have to develop a thick skin. I think you have to stay centered in what your passion, your voice, what it is you are trying to communicate, and really lean into it and have fun. I think sometimes we can take ourselves way too seriously, and if you stop playing and having fun with it, it's just a job. And then, who cares what you're doing? If it's just a job, it's not that fun, you know what I mean? I think if you can be playful about it and have a thick skin and stay centered, that's really the most important part. And then, eventually you will find your people. Eventually. It does take time, and it's not easy. And it's a lot of putting yourself out there, which is vulnerable and hard and difficult. But at the same time, if we don't do difficult things, or if we don't encounter any kind of, turmoil or strife, we're not going to grow. That's part of life. Life isn't easy. So I just, perseverance, man. I mean, I feel like the sky. I get really into the night sky, obviously, especially with the last Northern Lights situation that happened recently. I'd go outside every day and look at the sky because it's so inspiring to me. And obviously the lake. The lake is so magical at night. If you get a chance to see the moon hitting the lake with the stars, it's like, ah! It's very cool. So I think I like that the lake is super cold, and I think there's something about that coldness that it's like awakens the senses, and that happens at night. So yeah, I'm into the stars and the moon and the lake.